The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Trackside Live in the Little Brown Jug Speaker Series. Trackside Live is presented by Wire to Wire Wealth. Let's go live to the Delaware County Fairgrounds in Delaware, Ohio, and your host for the Speaker Series, Ashley Daly.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for your patience as we're getting underway here. Welcome to Jugette Day, day 4 of 5 here at the Delaware County Fair. We do have a total of 4 Ohio breds going into the Jugette this year, so what an accomplishment to already get us started. But behind us, we have some special interest here. We have the Luther brothers, trainer Todd, owner and kind of powerhouse behind that, Greg, and our driver of Skywalker C, Austin Hanner. Skywalker C will go in the first elimination of the Jugette Race 18 later on today. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So we'll do a quick introduction of everybody in case we have some new fans that maybe don't follow Ohio racing as closely as some. So our trainer Todd over here started around 2005. He has over 800 wins in his lifetime career and $12.6 million in earnings. As I said, Greg is kind of the powerhouse behind Luther Racing, does some occasional driving. Just found out we will see him drive a little bit today, and also trained in some time too. And Austin Hanner's only 26 years old, but has about 13 million already under his belt. So right, wow, to get us started today, Luthers, I kind of want to talk to you first. So we have some humble beginnings actually starting from a county fair, right? With Grandpa, the Dart County Fair.
Yeah, absolutely. He got us started in racing. Started me very young, and I brought Todd in a little bit later. Todd was probably 5 or 6 years old at the time, and we just kind of grew from there. My grandpa got sick and passed away, and Todd got his trainer's license and kind of learned as we went, and through trial and error, has figured out how to get in the big races and hopefully do well with them too.
So that was going to be my question: is which brother started this off? So it was you, Greg, the older naturally. How did the partnership between the two of you first get going?
Yeah, after Grandpa passed away, that's when it kicked in. I was planning on going to college. I had baseball scholarships and stuff, and was still learning. I think when he passed away, he had probably 15 or 20 there, and Greg said, "You want to take over?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it."
And it was, it's looking back now, it's just history. That was the start of it all.
Yep.
And then going, we've got a special guest too, right? Lainey's up here, daughter Lainey's up here as well. You had other plans originally than just training horses. Can you elaborate more?
Yeah, I baseball was what I lived for. I was on a baseball field all the time, and no regrets, but I miss it. Still love the game, but this here, there's nothing like it. Once this gets blood, you're not getting it out.
Do you feel like that competitiveness maybe started with baseball and is now? We know you like to do well. We know you like to. Everybody wants to do well. But do you think it has translated to the track?
Oh, for sure. This is a tough sport. There's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but you gotta keep going forward and keep trying. Every day is learning experience, and we've come a long way from the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 claimers to this. So we never dreamed we'd get this far, and it's something special.
A lot of this industry is family. We know that, but working with family isn't always the easiest. How is the dynamic in the barn for you two?
Today or yesterday or
right, so it depends on the day. Got
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's incredibly exciting and invigorating, and it's also very murderous at times. So we kind of go on both sides of the scale. But it is, it is very much a family business, and I think not only on the human side, but on the horse side. The story with Skywalker C. I've had that family for 3 generations, and that family has came up just as much as ours has. So I think you take the good with the bad, and there are definitely good days and bad days, but when you have those good days, it makes it worth it.
I didn't realize that you had her family for so long. I knew that she was a homebred coming into this. So tell me about her family and I guess just the breeding aspect of who she is.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun story. I mean, in 2009, which believe it or not was 16 years ago, the blooded horse sale was right here at Delaware, and I was dead broke. And I bought a mare named Miss Walker for $2,600. And the next day, I checked my bank account, and another check had went through, and I knew this check wasn't going to go through. I was going to bounce a check for $2,600. And fortunately, I was able to make all that work, and we got that mare. And she was kind of an average mare. She was racing in 4,000 claimers. I had some bad stuff happen to me, ran into some legal issues with a partner and things like that, and was just struggling miserably. That mare, and I mean, if you look up the lines on her, it's unbelievable. That mare became one of the best mares around. She was winning the open pace. They were posting her to the 8-hole. She helped me to survive. And I said, with as much as she'd done, I'm keeping her forever. I'm going to breed her, and I'm going to improve this breed. She was at aces and sevens. And I said, I'm going to improve this breed. So we started breeding her. She was the very first broodmare I ever had. I have 65 now. We've still got her today. She's over 20 years old. And we bred her to, at the time, the best horse in the state, which was Pet Rock. And we got Pet Walker, and she won a sire stakes and set the track record at Miami Valley. And then she had an injury, so she had to quit early. And we bred her, and we got Skywalker C. So this is third generation getting her, and literally from a $3,000 claim to the Jugette. So just unbelievable to be able to do that, And I wanted to try and do it the right way. Obviously there's a lot of trainers, there's a lot of drivers you can choose from. I wanted Todd to be involved. And when I was younger, Brad Hanners was a good buddy of mine, and he drove a horse out here named Metropolis. And I said, if I ever make it to the big ones, I want you to drive. So we got Austin here.
What a perfect way to lead into Austin Hanners, and I wanted to bring you into conversation because your family is no stranger to the sport, and Greg just told us why. So will you tell us a little bit about your dad? Your brother's involved, your sisters are involved, and of course, Mom, you drive a little bit for her too.
Yeah, mom's stepping up. She's got a big barn of her own now, and Luke's moved back here, and he's making a big name for himself, and obviously everybody knows my dad. He's been gone now 10 years, but his name still lives on through me and Luke, and my other sisters, they're involved, so everybody's involved in my family.
How's the family dynamic for you guys? I'm sure you're all in the barn together too.
I think Greg said it best, and that's how I can end it.
She, of course, is down by the seaside. We know that they are proven. She does have a full sibling, right?
She does, yeah. We actually bought her back. Her first foal was a dummy foal, and we sold it in the Lexington sale. She actually did race and do okay. We bought her back, and we got her in full stockade Sealster. And she doesn't cross with my favorite sire, which is Captain Kirk, supporting the Ohio program. And, we've got a bunch of broodmares we're trying to support the Ohio side that way.
Wonderful. Well, join us back here in just a moment. We're going to thank our sponsors, and we're going to talk more about Skywalker C and how she has proven herself in her 3-year-old year.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from start to finish.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio.
Welcome back to our speaker series. This morning we are focusing on our Jugette entry, Skywalker C. She's going to be post position 4 in the first elimination, race 18 here this afternoon. Skywalker C doesn't need a whole lot of introduction when it comes to the Ohio scene. She has hit the board 7 of 11 tries this season, including 3 wins. Her mark set at Scioto this year is 151-3, and she has almost $280,000 in earnings in just a few lifetime starts. Up here with us, we do have trainer, owner, and driver going into today. How did you feel about that post position?
I think it's a great spot. When we was at Scioto, Austin said I think we're in a good spot, and I think she'll like it. You know, she's a tough mare. You know, and Austin gets along with her better than anybody. She's very tough to drive. You know, when training down, she can be a little warm, and we found that out her third start of her life there down in Kentucky when we were down there in 122. So, but no, she's very fast, and you know, she trained great, and you know, it's all up to Austin now. So my job's done.
We just talked about how she's a homebred. Her full siblings is, I think, a year older. Hasn't done as much on the track. When did you know that this one was going to be the one?
You know, training down, you get a little taste of them, you know, how she is, and she raced great last year. You know, I think a couple more steps last year, I think we win the final. You know, she's been racing good, and you know, she kind of got a little flat towards the middle of the summer. You know, we were fighting blood and infections and feet and everything, and the other day, last week at Scioto, I think she got really sharp this time last year, and she's coming back into great form.
And we actually knew she wasn't the one as a 2-year-old because she got hurt very bad. She'd flipped over in the barn and cracked her head wide open on the concrete. And she had to go to OSU, had neurological problems. We didn't even think she was going to make it. And to then end up where she is now was just phenomenal. You know, I mean, it was devastating for me because you never want to lose a horse at all, but it was literally my last opportunity to keep that generational thing going with that line. And, you know, she was able to come back and was amazing at 2. Her very first start was one of her best starts of her life. And, you know, she shows no signs of it now. I mean, she's 100% now, which was just unbelievable.
Did you have any kind of special management to help her rehab from that?
Yeah, I mean, she was at OSU for a while. They had a helmet on her for a while. You know, we were just kind of waiting it out, and I'm not afraid to dump money into medical. You know, I mean, I said, whatever you can do to save her, even if she's just a broodmare, you know, let's do what we can to save her so I can, you know, keep the generational thing going. And sure enough, probably 30 days later, she was ready to go right on. You know, I was scared to death for her to go around the track the first time, but she was putting her feet in the right place, and here we are today. Just unbelievable.
And so she's not been intimidated going back to the track at all. Sometimes if there's, you know, a serious accident, horses, their hearts will kind of waver. Hers hasn't at all.
No, head shy. When you get to the top of her head, it was right between her ears. So you can mess with her anywhere, but when you get up there, she's a little funny about it still. Hard to get the earplugs in. But Randy, who, you know, he's part of the story as well, our groom, Randy Earhart, he trained Skywalker C's mother for me. Wow. And he actually named this baby. So I told him, you know, her baby you can name. He chose Skywalker C, and he's taking care of her all along. So it's a big ride for him as well.
He has to be ecstatic, isn't he?
Oh, maybe more so than us.
He's ready to puke every time she steps on the track. So he loves her, and you know, it's an exciting day for everybody all around.
Austin, she doesn't seem to be the easiest horse ever. So what is she like on the track? I mean, is she not push button?
She's a little warm, you know. She's great when you go out on the track, but sometimes in a race she can kind of make you. You kind of got to force her, like, to not let her do what she wants. It's like if she'll want to pull something forward, sometimes it's a half, and we really don't want to. Or she can be a little rude, and the more you keep her quiet, the better off she is.
Mm-hmm. I believe your division has a total of 3 Ohio breds, and they're all very nice horses. We wouldn't see them in the Jugette, right? How do you feel about the competition in your elimination?
I definitely feel like we're in the right division for us, and giving us our best chance to make it back to the final.
And going back to Todd, how did you change your training program to get ready to race heats? It's not normal in our day and age.
I don't change much. You don't want to make them do something that they're not used to. You know, she trained 2 trips like she always does, and you know, the same treatment for, you know, jugs and everything, and you know, it's all up to her now. You know, I think she's got the speed and the talent, and if we can, you know, get a good post position, if we can make the final, you know, she'll show up. She does all the time. So if all works out, we'll be there.
I like to think in Ohio we have a little bit more of advantage when it comes to half track, because of course we've got Northfield Park, and we even race some Sciotos and 5/8, so a little bit smaller than our 7/8, our mile. Any concerns going on to the half mile here today?
Oh no, she went out here last year.
I was gonna say,
You know,
Yeah.
in hand, you know, and you know, plugs in, and earlier this summer, you know, she got beat right at the wire in 50 at Northfield, so it's not like she can't get around a half. It's just hopefully she's in a good mood today, and we'll be all right.
and this is everybody's first Jugette appearance, right? As
No,
Connections.
second for us.
Second.
Well, we were in the jug. We weren't in the Jugette. Oh, yeah, we did have Tara in the jug.
Imagine having so
I got
many
too many
nice
damn
horses.
horses.
We
Yeah.
can't remember. But Austin, you did have your first drive in a jug elimination last year. This is your first Jugette, correct?
This is my first Jugette, yeah.
How are you feeling? Do you think last year, you know, maybe shook off some of those nerves and you're ready for this one?
Yeah, definitely. You know, last year was so nerve-wracking, and this year it's a little more, you know, kind of like, not that I've been here a lot, but I've definitely, you know, been in this car.
I'll brag on Austin just for a minute. I think a couple years ago, I did an all access with Ashley, and I did jug trivia, and I picked Austin to do it with. And I prepped him beforehand. I said, hey, do I need to give you some of these answers so neither of us look stupid? And he goes, no, I'm good. And you are through and through a jug fan. I mean, you ask him anything, and he's going to know the answer. Are you as tight on the Jugette as you are the jug?
Probably not.
We will after this year, right? You're going to know who won the 2025 50.
He doesn't know all the questions. Who's going to be on the lead at the quarter in the first division today? Correct. Yes, you're correct.
Oh my God. So what would winning the Jugette, how would that rank against, you already have some Grand Circuit titles under your belt recently as a team with Hill Exotic and the Charlie Hill. How would winning the Jugette rank next to that?
It'd be huge. I mean, you know, I've got 2 bucket list items left, and one of them is the jug. And the Jugette would be just as great, especially, you know, being a homebred and being in the family for 16 years. You know, I was actually thinking last night, I'd love to take that trophy to Miss Walker, show her what her granddaughter did. So, you know, 16 years keeping a mare around and keep breeding and raising and having the good stories and the bad stories. That's what it's all about in this industry, you know. And if we can win, that'd be phenomenal. Todd says we're going streaking. I don't know if you're in, but if we win.
Todd, how are your girls going to act in the winner's circle? I know they love being in there.
I don't think you have to worry about them. I think you have to worry about me. I told Greg, I said, I might be running around here naked. So, no,
Oh, God.
It would be fun.
Wait, you got to make sure we all leave first. Whatever you do in the campers is fine.
No, they love going in the winter circle and stuff, and you know, if we can get there, I wouldn't even know what to say. It'd be something.
Even elimination. I mean, elimination would be huge for me, you know, to be able to experience that and have that on a record. You know, I'm in the breeding business now, so the longer that pedigree is, the better. And every win she gets is just, you know, another notch in her belt for sure.
Austin, I know you have to have some thoughts.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome to get that done. You know, it would just be amazing. It'd be as big as anything I've ever done.
And that's what you just won, the Charlie Hill, and that was your biggest race, $250,000 for this team.
Yeah, that was a big thrill for me to be able to do that right, you know, this quick with these, and I wouldn't even have words.
Join us back here in just a moment. We'll thank our sponsor one more time before we round out with the connections of Skywalker C.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from start to finish.
With more than 300,000 horses in Ohio, the economic impact of the equine industry in the state is over $2.8 billion. Much of that value comes from standardbred horse owners, breeders, trainers, and drivers who participate in the sport of harness racing. The mission of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to preserve, protect, promote, and serve the entire standardbred industry in Ohio and beyond. To learn more about the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, go to OHHA.com. That's OHHA.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning for our speaker series. We have all the connections of Skywalker C beside me now, kind of wrapping up with a couple more questions before we're going to open up to the audience, and it's your turn to put them on the hot spot. So we've talked a lot about family, and Austin, I kind of want to ask you, when you draw into these big races, your brother's pretty accomplished too. He's, how old is he? 24, a couple years younger than yourself?
He'll be 25.
Will be. Do you ever go through strategy with your brother?
No, we like to think of so much. There's all the strategy. We're very competitive.
Now, will you guys, will you look at the program and say, I think she's going to look best in here? Try to get the spot. If you can get the spot, of course, you never know how a race is going to play out until it's on there. But do you give, your opinion?
We talk all the time about, races, whether it's a non-winner 2000 or these, and you can, like you just said, you don't know until that gate folds you can have the biggest strategy in the world, but everybody else might have their own strategy. So all we can do is get them ready as much as we can, and the rest is up to how you need a lot of luck, and hopefully it's on our side today.
If you could place a perfect race for her, how would she go out there today? Would she sit in a hole? Would she go to the front?
I think we can cross over and be at a half in a minute, and hopefully save a little for the second division. But no, if she minds her manners, I think she truly could go with the best pacing fillies around. So it's all up to her now, and I think she has a really good week. So we'll see what happens.
Do you have any rituals to kind of shake off the nerves before a race like this?
No. There's no. Drink a lot of water, because I make fun of Randy, but I'll when they go to the track, I'll be a real dry mouth, can't swallow, none of that. But Tony always makes fun of me and stuff. But I told her, I said, when I quit getting that feeling and stuff, I'll just quit. I don't think it'll ever get old, and we're coming into a real big stake season with all the horses, and this is what we live to do. Yeah, and I mean, it's you live for that excitement. I think that's what it's all about. So I've always said, you win some, you learn some, and here at Delaware, usually right at the top of the stretch, if you're going to be in business or not. It's a very, very big high and incredibly exciting, or you're already walking away, and we'll try next year. So that's how the business works, and that's what keeps us moving.
You definitely try to think of it like any other race. To say you don't know in the back of your head, and there's any nerves you behind yourself.
So naturally, over the 80 years of the Little Brown Jug, the boys always get a little bit more press. How do we beef that up for our fillies? Does it really just come down to purse, you think?
I don't think it has so much to do with purse as it does, the ramifications of winning the Jug and what that means for a stallion. We have had a lot of geldings win lately, so it kind of loses its luster that way. But let me tell you, from the breeding side, if I've got a mare that even raced in the Jugette, I'm more excited about that than breeding to a stallion that won the Jug. So, I think that it all comes down to promotion. I mean, I'm a big marketing guy myself. That's what I do for a living, and there's a lot we can do to improve the sport and improve the number of people coming in, try and fill the grandstand again and that type of thing. But, it all comes down to the promotion and showing people just how important it is. One great thing is they can come in and see the horses here, and in many cases even touch the horses that are here for the fair and that type of thing. And I think that's so important to the sport.
We'd like to open it up to our audience. Does anybody have any questions for any of our three guys up here?
Thank you. I will ask one on the breeding side. Greg, you've been in it for a lot of years now. Over the years, we've seen the times drop and drop and drop. Where do you think we bottom out in terms of standardbreds?
Interestingly, that's not happening in thoroughbreds. So it has a lot to do with our breed. I can tell you, I've been doing this over 35 years, and I can tell you that we start with horses that are completely different than what we used to start with. We used to literally have to gate them up and put weighted bandages and weighted shoes and, you know, try and get them to go. They pace when they're 2 days old beside their mother now. So the breed has continuously improved. We do breed for speed now. That's why you'll see a lot of horses, Ohio or otherwise, they'll set their lifetime market too. They'll never come back to that, you know. So we breed for early speed, whereas you look at New Zealand and Australia, you know, they're 5, 6, 7 years old. They're getting their lifetime mark. So the breed has changed tremendously. You know, I've got obviously the 2 studs here in Ohio, Catch the Fire and Captain Kirk, 2 completely different type of horses, and they should go to a different type of mare as well. But that's something I've been learning over the last several years. We have our first consignment in the Lexington sale this year with Prolific Equine. I've got 11 horses selling down there. And, you know, it's something that you learn through mistakes. You learn as you go. But the breed just keeps getting stronger. And when you take the best one and the best one and you put them together, you're going to have something stronger. And I think that happening decade after decade has made a huge difference to our sport. Surprisingly, they're holding up. You know, we're doing pretty well as far as soundness and that type of thing. It's about the same as it used to be. But it's definitely made for speed and early speed too.
And just on another note, on the trotting side, we've seen them go under 150 now.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. I don't know if anybody ever thought we'd see that. But what about your thoughts on the trotting?
As far as what?
Are you as big on the trotting side as the pacing, or is that your core?
I've done most of my brood mares or pacers just because I had pacing stallions, but we've done very, very well on the trotting side. Most of our big Grand Circuit wins have been trotters as well. It almost feels like it's starting to turn into a different sport. You know, it's a completely different approach. You got to have one that just stays solid, has a little gait speed, that type of thing. You know, that is, if you're in the trotting business, you're either going to end up completely rich or an alcoholic, one or the other. And we do a little bit, you might be a rich alcoholic if you have enough of them. But it is mind-numbing for sure. But man, when you get a good one, what an accomplishment that is. And I think a lot of that is because there is such a downside to it. When you get a good one, you can celebrate it even more.
I think we have time for one more question.
Turn it down now.
Thank you. Gentlemen, in particular Mr. Luther, we have a situation that's starting to develop in the sport now where we're getting crossbreeds. Captain Corey, pacing and trotting, and the winner of the Hamiltonian cross. What's your opinion and outlook about the future of that?
Well, personally, I don't like it. That's probably because I'm the oldest one up here. The youngest ones are probably going to love it, right? I'm a I don't necessarily like it myself. I'll probably buy some Captain Corys because they've been racing well, but I don't like the crossbreed thing with trotters and pacers. But who knows? You know, if they're trying something new, and kudos to that, I just won't participate in it myself. I don't know what you guys think about it.
I think you see it more and more. I think they're trying to get the speed out of the pacers, but but you can see the fastest trotter the other day, Lexus Cody. He's not dual eligible, you know, or the dual. The speed's going to be there. They get faster. I think the bikes, the medications we can use, and I can't wait to see what the next few years with all the new sires, what we're truly going to start going. It's going to be, I think, we're almost as fast as thoroughbreds anymore. So we'll see what happens.
All right, well, thank you. We've got Todd, Greg, and Austin. We wish Skywalker C the best of luck. Remember, race 18, post position 4. She's in the first elimination of the 55th Jugette. Thank you, everybody. Join us back here shortly at 9:30. We'll talk to Ron Burke about his jug entries.
This has been Trackside Live. Trackside Live is presented by Wire to Wire Wealth. Trackside Live is a presentation of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.